Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. First, I say this every single time, but I'm going to apologize for two things. One being the echoiness of the room. You guys know we just moved into a house. I'm currently filming in Emmalynn's playroom, or soon to be playroom. The walls behind me are primed. They need to be painted. And there's nothing really in here yet because she's not old enough to walk around and kind of do her own thing. Not that I would ever leave her unoccupied, obviously, but I will always supervise. But basically we're not using this room yet because we don't really have much to put in here. So it's still a work in progress, as is the rest of the home. So just bear with me while we're still getting everything set up and together. I will find a better filming area. I want to set up something in my room, maybe like a little office-y corner space for filming, but that'll be later. And then I want to apologize for any noise in the background. My husband is watching Emmalynn, who is watching TV, so the TV's on in the background. But if you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. And if you've already been here and subscribed, then welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about my 9 and 10 week pregnancy update. I have some notes on my phone here, so if you see me looking at that, that's what I'm doing. I'm combining like the earlier stages of pregnancy into like, instead of doing like a week by week, I combine 2 weeks. I think next week I'll probably start doing 1 week at a time. If you want updates 1 week at a time, comment below and let me know. I just figure it's probably easier to combine 2 weeks or so at a time, just to not ramble on and on about 1 week in particular if nothing really even happened that was significant. So yeah, I'm currently 11 weeks pregnant, 11 weeks 2 days pregnant. So this is going to be obviously for the last 2 weeks. I like to finish out the weeks before I do an update, just because if I'm only 10 weeks pregnant, I don't know how I'm feeling the rest of that week, you know what I mean? So I like to be finished, and then I can let you guys know, okay, this is exactly what I was feeling for this week or 2 weeks or whatever the case was. So yeah, so for the 10th week, baby was as big as a prune, about 1.5 inches. And it's crazy to me because I feel like in my first pregnancy, I literally like counted down the weeks and the days, and time just seemed to be standing still almost because I was so excited for her to be here. Not that I'm not excited for this baby to be here, obviously, but I feel like when it's your first, you are just like, I don't know, you're just so like, I'm pregnant, and like that. But this time around, it's like, okay, I've been through this before, I know what to expect, kind of a thing. So time is like literally flying for me. I can't believe that I'm already in my 11th week and I'm closing in on the the first trimester, which is just absolutely insane. I take notes like throughout the weeks just so I can remember exactly what I was feeling or going through. The first thing that I wrote down was dreams. I had this with my first pregnancy, and I think I've mentioned this before, that I had super vivid dreams, and I mean, they would just be so real. So whenever I would have like a nightmare or something, I would just wake up and be like, almost in tears or sweating, whatever the case may be. The dream just feels that real. And I mean, that's been happening to me again. Last night, I didn't have like a horrible dream, but it wasn't great either. And I would wake up in the middle of the night in just a sweat. Like I'd be sweating so bad because of it. So like I said, that happened in my first pregnancy too. So I kind of expected it. Next thing is my body temperature. I've been so hot and cold. Like I'll be at the point where I'm freezing and I will turn off the air conditioning, or I'll be so hot, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to turn this down to like 60. And my husband's like freezing, and he's like, are you kidding me? It is not hot in here. I'm like, you're being crazy. but that's just how it is. And I remember this, my first pregnancy too. I remember being so hot or so cold. And at the end of my pregnancy, the first time, I was so freaking hot. We lived in an apartment in Texas at that time. And we kept our apartment at like 60 degrees. And my husband would go to sleep in like pants, long sleeve shirt, comforter, sheets, the whole shebang. And you know, I'm like, oh, this is great. But it was just, that's how I've been feeling. So we might need to turn the air down. Very chilly towards the end of my pregnancy. The last 2 weeks, I've had a lot of stress in my life, and it's, you know, I mean, stress is something that you can't help. You can't help when something in your life, you know, goes a different route than you had planned or you had anticipated. So you have to be prepared, you know, for what could possibly happen. And if you guys watch my vlogs, then you know some of the issues with my mother and I. And that's been a big stressor on me the last couple weeks. It's definitely gone down, but you know, it's something out of my control, and it's something that you have to take with a grain of salt, and you have to accept the situation and, you know, move forward from it. And you have to learn to breathe and to calm down, and that's hard to do. And it's not easy even when you're not pregnant, but it's most important to keep your stress level down when you are pregnant, because you don't want that to affect your child. So I feel like that almost makes you want to stress more. So during this stressful time in my life, I've just, you know, taken it day by day and done what I can, you know, as each day passes, and that's all you can do. You can't do anything more than that. So dealing with stress this time around, or these past 2 weeks, has been difficult, but I've gotten through it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and yeah, so now this week moving forward is much better, and you know, I feel better and I'm sleeping better, and yeah, it's just better. So that's something I've been having going on. Another thing that I really didn't experience my first pregnancy was round ligament pain. This time around, I've been having like some sharp pains, or some like pains on my sides, or you know, the lower abdomen, and that's just obviously from stretching. And it's funny because I would think that I would have that more with my first pregnancy than my second, considering, you know, my body's already been through this before and it's kind of already stretched out anyways. So it's funny that I'm going through it this time, and I didn't really have it much last time, not that I can recall, but I've been experiencing that more than usual within the last few weeks. I've had a lot of headaches, and I had this my first pregnancy too, and my doctor had said that, you know, if you're the type of person who experiences hormonal headaches, you know, during the time of your period, then you'll experience that during pregnancy. And that's been extremely true. Every time I would have my period, it would never fail that I would get headaches. Even like a few days, it would happen like a few days before my period would start. There would come a headache or 2 headaches or whatever, and it never mattered how much medicine I took or anything, it wouldn't go away. And that's sort of what I deal with during each pregnancy too. Like, I'll get a headache, and even if it's that bad where I take some Tylenol, it doesn't alleviate any of my pain. So I try to stay away from, you know, medications. I'll try to do like an ice pack on the back of my neck or on my forehead, and just try to deal with it more naturally than, you know, taking medication. I mean, sometimes if it's so bad, I have to take Tylenol, which is obviously okay to do during pregnancy, not in excess, but if I need it, I need it. But as of right now, I haven't really been taking any Tylenol unless it's absolutely necessary. But I do still get headaches pretty frequently, a few times a week. This pregnancy, I have good days and I have bad days. Like, I will feel absolutely amazing and can like clean the entire house, do laundry, do the dishes, cook dinner, meal prep, do all of these awesome things. And then the next day, I feel like crap and all I want to do is lay around. And I hate that feeling. It's so up and down. And I'm very thankful that I have good days, because in my first pregnancy, I didn't have good days till like well into my second trimester because of morning sickness and because I was just so exhausted. And this time around, I'm not like that. I don't experience that much exhaustion and I don't experience things like that. So I am so grateful that I have good days. And you're almost forced to have those good days because I have another child who needs my attention. I can't just lay on the couch and veg out or, you know, just spend the whole day in bed. I can't do that regardless of how I'm feeling. So, I mean, I don't get the time to, you know, rest when I really feel like I need to. But like I said, I'm so fortunate that I have those high days, and the high days are way more frequent than the low days. So I am very happy about that I can play with my daughter and get everything done that I need to get done around the house, because I know a lot of people experience super bad morning sickness and can barely get up and go to work or whatever they need to do. So I'm very fortunate. Another thing that we did within the last week was we announced our pregnancy on our social medias, or I think it was just mine. I don't think my husband did it on his. He doesn't really use his social media the way that I do. If you don't already follow me on social media, it's linked in the description bar. So go follow me there to see our pregnancy announcements. Another thing that I've mentioned in a previous pregnancy update is that I pee all the time. But that's something I did to begin with because I drink so much water. I try to drink a gallon a day or maybe a little bit less just because I'm so thirsty, and I've been so used to it, you know, for so long drinking that much water that it's, you know, second nature to me to want to drink that much. So I drink a lot of water, so it's nothing out of the ordinary for me to be going to the bathroom all the time. But that's something that's also been happening, and I feel like I'm visiting the bathroom more frequently now than I did when I was first pregnant, you know, like 4 weeks or whatever. It's definitely getting more, and I know it's only gonna get more, that I'm gonna go to the bathroom as my pregnancy progresses. I had already previously touched on this subject a little bit. I don't have morning sickness this pregnancy. When I first found out I was pregnant, my stomach would hurt and I would feel a little sick, but it was nothing to even complain about. It would just be like, oh, I don't feel good, and then it'd be gone. And with my first pregnancy, I was so sick. I never threw up, which is so amazing. So many women do, but I never threw up, but I did feel the sickness, and it would come in waves. I would go to work in the morning and feel so sick. Thank God I had a sitting down job. I could literally just like hover over the trash can and be okay. But I never puked, which was awesome, but I definitely felt the sickness aspect of pregnancy, whereas this time around, I don't have it. It is pretty much non-existent, and I'm very blessed for that because a good friend of mine who's been on my channel before, Jackie, when she was pregnant with her son, she puked all the time, and I'm very grateful that I never had to go through that. Another thing that happens within the last week, I went to the doctor. I went to the doctor the day that I was 10 weeks and 4 days pregnant. So we went and we had our first ultrasounds, we heard the heartbeat, everything looks great with baby, and it's just exciting to, you know, actually visually see, you know, your baby for the first time, which is awesome because, you know, prior to that, it's almost like a dream. You're like, well, I'm pregnant, you know, the tests say I'm pregnant, but I don't feel pregnant. Am I, you know what I'm saying? It's like, but then once you go to that first doctor's appointment, you're like, wow, like this is real. You know, it's confirmed. I am pregnant. There's something in there that's moving around. I can see it. And yeah, it's just, it was awesome. I love, you know, experiencing that. And it was awesome having my husband and daughter with me. And as we did with our first pregnancy, they, you know, ask if you want to do the genetic testing. And we declined with Emmalynn because no matter what happens with our child, we are still gonna have our baby. We're still gonna love our child, no matter if there is something that happens to be wrong with it genetically. It won't matter in our hearts because that will still be our baby. We will still love him or her no matter what. And we denied that with Emmalynn, and she came out perfectly healthy, was 100% a healthy, happy baby, and still is. And same thing this time, they asked if we would like to have that testing done, and we decline. We choose not to, and that's our prerogative. A lot of people choose to do that. I know many women who have. It's just not something that we choose as parents to do. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know that I won't be getting my second ultrasound until I'm 20 weeks, but I think they do the genetic testing prior to that, which is why they asked me at this appointment, and we declined. So I won't be giving any update as far as the genetic testing is concerned because we opted out of doing that. Something else that I've been experiencing this pregnancy, which many women do, and I also experienced last pregnancy, is back pain. And back pain has been really bad for me just recently, but I think it has to do with me being in the car so much because I had to go pick my mom up, who lives 3 hours south of us. So we drove 6 hours last weekend in the vehicle and then 6 hours yesterday in the car, and my back is killing me. But I think it's attributed more so to that and lifting my big chunky little girl around the house. But other than that, no real complaints about pregnancy. It's been really awesome and I'm so fortunate. A funny thing that's happening super early, not only am I showing earlier than I did the first time, but my belly button is popping much sooner than it did last time. I think my belly button started to pop last pregnancy, almost towards the end, like maybe within the last month or two is when my belly button popped. It never came like completely out, but it was like right at the surface there where it was like flat. So there was like no divot where my innie was. And that's happening like right now. And I'm only 11 weeks and 2 days. And that's crazy to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be like one of those girls who has like the serious belly button. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just different for me because that's not what I had the first time. So I just didn't expect that. So, I mean, we'll see. I haven't been shopping much for maternity clothes. I didn't really my first pregnancy either. I mean, this time I got a few things from Pink Blush Maternity, a couple dresses, mostly because my pregnancy is during the summer months this time, whereas last time it was more so in the winter months. So, you know, covering up with big sweaters and things like that was much easier than having summer things to wear. So I got a few dresses that I showed a few vlogs ago from Pink Blush Maternity, and I'll probably be buying more stuff like that. And another thing that I need to buy is some maternity leggings. I only have one pair, but they have holes in them from my last pregnancy because I wore the crap out of them. And I have a couple maternity jeans from my last pregnancy, but I don't really have any like comfy, stretchy leggings. But I have leggings for non-pregnancy that I'm still currently wearing. So I don't need the pregnancy leggings right now. I just want them because I know soon enough these leggings are gonna get really uncomfortable and I'm gonna need those. So that's pretty much it for this pregnancy update. I will show you my bump. That's good. Okay, this is the front bump. Side. Popping a little bit. It's probably mostly bloating though, but that's it. And yeah. But as always guys, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next update. Bye.